So today, man, I got y'all with a build that is literally going to be able to do everything in NBA 2K25 that you can possibly want, whether you are a new player or a veteran. Now, this build comes out to a fire name being the crafty mid-paint Reaper, but what's really special about this one is that not only can you consider yourself to be a slasher, but this is an all-around defender. The offensive end, I'm telling y'all, got that likes of Kevin Durant in it. But defensively, man, this is going to be a build that can even run the big man position, the center, power forward, however you want to craft it to be. And on top of that, bro, look at these strengths. So a mid-range sniper, effortless elevation in traffic, slashes hard from the wing, really gets on the defensive glass. And the only weakness is it's not a steals guy by any means. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, we'll be able to get glove on the gold tier. Also interceptor possibly as well. And that's the only weakness, but we still have these badges on gold. Really something to think about, bro, but I just want to say thank every single one of y'all for coming through. Thank the Lord above, King Jesus, for another day and another opportunity. So comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I'll definitely be sure to get back to you with the response. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. Now let's get into the breakdown of this build. So to get y'all right with this one, we will be making this one out of that small forward position. And then when it comes towards that height, let's go with 6'10". Now the weight, this is all optional, but today, man, I'm really going to try and break down this build of this year. So I want to go with 215 pounds. And then for that wingspan, let's put this to 7 feet exactly. So from here, man, we're all set to move forward with the attributes, animations, and I'll get into the breakdown of everything. But first, let's get into the breakdown of the physical. So that speed, I'm going to put this all the way up to a 76. Once we get into that agility, I'm going to put this up to a 72. As we get to that strength today, put this all the way up to a 75. And then as you can see with that strength, man, and the vertical, these are kind of, you know, really relatable to each other, because I really do feel as though the strength and vertical are going to matter a whole lot when it comes towards your rebounding. So make sure you go with a 77 when it comes towards that vertical. Not only is that going to help us out a lot when it comes towards the actual finishing, but as far as for this build overall, man, there's truly not going to be any weaknesses. And the first area that I'm going to get into today is going to be the finishing, bro. So when we get to that close shot, I want to put this all the way up to an 84. As you get to the actual driving layup, initially when I did first see this build, I did see it at a 90, but I want to go ahead and put this to an 88. And that's going to help out a lot more when it comes towards the actual badges, animations that you can get. Now the driving dunk from here, let's go with an 87. And as you can see, when it comes towards the actual standing dunk, put this up to a 72. The post control, go with a 60. And you know, if you do want to take down some of the shooting in order to actually get this into the 80s, you know, that's another good option to pick from. But I truly feel as though, man, this is going to be the route that you do want to go with. So starting with that shooting, let's go with an 89 when it comes towards that three-point shot. As far as when it comes towards that three-pointer, make sure you go with an 83. Now for that free throw today, let's go with a 70. And I would say this is safe enough to take into pretty much just about any game mode from the 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s. This build is going to be set. Now the pass accuracy, put this all the way up to a 75. Once we get to that ball handle, man, I want to be sure that we can dribble on this build. So let's go with a 73. And then as you can see, when it comes towards that speed with ball, put this all the way up to a 68. That will get you that bronze lightning launch. And so far, man, for the offensive side, I gotta say, I think this is a pretty good build, bro. Especially considering once you do add in your cap breakers, that's going to make this build a whole lot better. So getting started with that defensive end, let's go ahead and put that interior all the way up to a 74. The perimeter, I'm going to put this to a 71. And then for that steal today, man, make sure you go all the way up to a 67. The block today, I'm going to go with an 84. And I feel as though this is some pretty solid numbers to work with when it comes towards that defensive end. The 67 steal, remember, like I said, bro, and I'm going to get into the cap breakers, the max plus ones, the max plus twos in a minute. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Now, the rebounding. I really want to cater more towards that defensive side. So I'm going to go with a 70 when it comes towards the offensive. As far as when it comes towards that defensive, max this out to an 85. And this is what we're going to be looking like once you get this build maxed out to its full potential at 99 overall. So once you take a glance at this build, you can really see that there's truly no weaknesses in my opinion. So let's go ahead and check out some of these badges. So for the gold ones, you will be able to get box out beast. We also get pogo stick, set shot specialist, aerial wizard, float game. And on top of that, bro, we're also going to be able to get strong handle. Now, based off my opinion, I would really consider specializing in shooting on this build. just so that way you can get potentially legend, set shot specialist, or even if you wanted to, bro, you can even go ahead and upgrade, you know, limitless range to the gold tier. Or if you specialize in defense or rebounding, there's so many different routes and avenues that you can take, man. But as far as for cap breakers, the number one thing that I would highly recommend, go ahead and use a +1 cap breaker put towards that mid-range shot. That will allow you to get deep bomber takeover ability on a build that is 6'10". Now on top of that, when it comes towards these silver badges, you get off-ball pass, you're getting layup mixmaster with shifty shooter, dimer, high fly denier. I really like the fact that if you do decide to specialize in defense, you can get a +2 or +1 racing dispatch to Hall of Fame or gold. Now you also got Deadeye, which I mentioned. If you do specialize in shooting, you can even get this to the gold tier as well. Now you also got Break Starter with physical finisher, Paint Prodigy, Paint Patroller, and then on top of that, bro, we're also getting Posterizer with Rebound Chaser. So even if you wanted to go ahead and upgrade Posterizer to the Hall of Fame or gold tier, that's another great option on this build. And that's what I really like about this one, is that the versatility and the options that are open with it. I gotta say, man, there's nothing that you can say negative about this build. Then as far as when it comes towards these bronze, we get Rise Up Still, Brick Wall. You get Interceptor to be a threat on those steals. From there, bro, you do get Limitless Range, Post Fade Phenom, Unpluckable, you know, Versatile Visionary. We're also going to be able to get Challenger, Immovable Enforcer, Post Lockdown, Lightning Launch on a 6'10" build is going to be essential. Then you also get Glove and also Handles for Days, bro. So from top to bottom, I gotta say this is probably one of my favorite hybrid inside big man, because not only do you have the capabilities of a guard, but you can still defend and grab some rebounds down low. So when it comes towards these takeovers, this is going to play a huge fact with how you actually go about the making of this build and how you want to actually, you know, play. So like I mentioned, bro, if you do throw one cap breaker towards that mid-range shot, we're going to be able to actually get deep bomber takeover ability. And this is probably the only takeover that I would recommend picking, the 3-point architect. So with this takeover, you'll have an 88 3-point shot, a 79 ball handle with an 81 pass accuracy. Not bad, but once you look at these other takeovers, you know, it's all going to come down to your preference. You even get ones like Deep Bomber. You know, for my personal opinion, as long as you can maintain Deep Bomber takeover ability, that's going to be the number one that I would pick from. Even when it comes towards these defensive ones, you know, you can even upgrade the steal a little bit if you wanted to, getting a 72. So there's many great options to pick from, and with Savant Takeover, you will be able to get a 95 mid-range shot. And if you do the math, if you add boosts, bind them, bro, you'll be able to easily get a 99 mid-range shot and a 90+ 3-pointer on a 6'10" build when it's all said and done. You know, you even have triple threat, which I think personally that's another great one, because it does give you a 92 driving dunk, 88 3-point shot, 95 mid-range shot, adding up the boost, bro. All three of these categories will be in the 90s range. I'm curious to know your thoughts and opinions, bro. Would you make any types of changes and adjustments on this build? But this is actually going to be this build throughout the entire year. And for those of y'all who will be coming through on stream, bro, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. So I'm going to say thank every single one of y'all for your support. God bless you. Let's go ahead and move forward, man, so we can check out this video on build today. And as you can see, we get comparisons of Danny Granger, Cooper Flag, and LeBron James. And I love these comparisons, but also the crafty mid-paint rim Reaper. A fire build name at that, bro. But on top of that, the go-to badges, set shot specialist, float game, and box out beast. The top attributes will be that mid-range shot, the driving layup, and the driving dunk. Like I said, man, feel free to make any types of changes and adjustments to your own liking. I love the fact that we see so many different archetype build names, because truthfully with this one, you get an idea of what it can do. But with, you know, just that little special touch that they did put on archetype naming this year, I really feel as though there's so many different builds that I'm seeing and creating that I could have not even imagined 2K putting in the game, bro. Remember, there's at least 5,000 to 6,000 different archetype build names, and the fact that we can get some of these rare ones like this is truly something special. So once again, man, I just gotta go ahead and say thank the Lord above, King Jesus, for another day and another opportunity. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you know. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Reach out.